nowadays, because of the technology and because of this. I mean, everybody thinks now they have a studio in the basement because you have a laptop and some plugins. And so it's just one of those things where the times have changed, the technology's gotten much better, and there is more access to instrumentation and you know, back then also to get a keyboard or get anything was, you know, you had to make it quite an investment. There was no really compact things. There was a Fender Rhodes. I had a Fender Rhodes like '88, which is as big as my car that I had. So, you know, it was like really something to like go in that direction. Thank God I had, you know, parents that that facilitated, you know, my interest in instrumentation and whatever way that they could, they would, you know, help me get things toward that direction. And so I think now it's just so much easier because everybody has a computer now, you know, and so now these computers can multitask. They can not only do your taxes, but now you can do music on it. So,
how would you rate graduating from a music college, any music college nowadays, which back in the day, contemporary music, you didn't really have that,
yes,
to graduating up to the, you know, Prince, you know, what's in between that?
Well, that's an interesting thing. Myself, I didn't go to any music school. I don't read, but you know, I'm just a person. I hear it, and so I think in hindsight, I think I would have liked to have been more. I just was more interested in sports and things like that. I wanted to play basketball in school, and I just think. For me at the time, it was just a lot harder to make that because of the lack of just training from very small age. I just kind of got in the game really late. I was in college and I had an art scholarship, and I just the spark that hit me was the fact that in my college there was a music department and the art department were in the same building, and I used to have to walk by the music guys every day on my way to go to my art classes. And there were these cubicles, kind of like what's out here. You know, they had cubicles, and you had a guy in there playing the piano, you had a guy in there playing saxophone. And so every day, I'd peep in the windows. You know, they had the little doors with the little window in it about yay wide, and I'd just peep in and see, and these guys would be like doing it, man. It was like, you know, he's doing Bird, you know, got some guy doing Monk, and I mean, it was crazy. And I was like, wow, I really like this music thing, man. Yeah. And I'm in college, and that's when I kind of got the spark to say, wow, man, this. And what was funny is the singer that was in the group, one of the groups that I ended up getting in college. He was the best artist at the school, and he was like a biology major. And I'm like, okay, I'm in school for art. This biology major that's just one of the best singers at the school is also the best artist. I got to figure something out. I'm all twisted up here. I'm just as wrong. And I just said, art is just not going to be it for me.
How far into it were you? How many years into school? Was it early on? Or?
Oh, yeah, early on, like immediately my freshman year.
Okay.
It was that's as far as I got was freshman year.
So you switched to the music?
I actually didn't. Here's what's funny. I played in a band, and what was funny is I wasn't any good, but I was a kid that kind of like came to the game with the basketball. My brother was a DJ that had a lot of equipment, so I had speakers and equipment like that because he was a DJ, and I had a couple of I had a Fender Rhodes and another like a Farfisa organ. And what was crazy, I wasn't really that good. We had a keyboard player that was in the band that was good. He was doing the bulk of the playing, and I was doing the bulk of the, hey, how you doing? And what happened was he decided he couldn't be in the group anymore, had to kind of focus on his studies. And they said, okay, the band has started to get popular, and they said, okay, you have to do it. And so they said, you can look like an idiot and not, or you can learn these songs actually and play them. And so we had it's funny, we actually played a fundraiser for Bill Clinton, because this is in Arkansas, he was running for governor. And our band got a function to play, and that was my like first real gig, whereas I had to carry the keyboard parts, and it was shaky, but I pulled it off. And then at that point, that's when I felt like I can do this. And then I had a recruiter come to me, a recruiter from DeVry, a computer programming school, and gave me the pitch on computers are the future, man. This is where the money is. And I said, you know what, you're right. Computers are the future. I've seen Star Trek. And so I went to DeVry. So it's a nutty thing, but I did all of those things, and really the music thing just kept coming back. It was one of those things that I didn't ever feel I was really that great at, but I just liked it because I just like music. But I just wanted to get like in the South, say, boy, you better get you a real job. You got to get you a real job. That music thing, that's fun. But you need the post office. That's where you want to be. You know.
That's authentic.
You know. So for me.
At what point did you make the step?
At the point where I made it, when I went to DeVry, I was in Chicago, and I moved to live with my Aunt Wilma, and she went to this church in South Chicago called Fellowship. And it was a kind of large church at the time before, all of these super churches. But they had an incredible music staff. Just several of the best organ players, the best keyboard players, best guitar players. Everybody over there was fantastic. And it's funny, when I was playing at a church in Tennessee, I met the actual pastor was down there. He's from Tennessee. That was the pastor there. He remembered me from the church I was playing at when I went to his church in Chicago, and he told his music staff, I met this young man in Tennessee. And he turned around to his staff and said, I want you to take this guy in and work with him. And that's what happened. That turned the corner for me.
So you took lessons with those guys?
So those guys, all of the music staff at the church kind of taught me. Each one of them, he had like 5 of the best organ players in the city of Chicago. And they taught me, and I just looked over their shoulders. And his son, Ralph, was like a touring musician, actually played with Johnny Taylor and a bunch of other folks.
But how old were you at that point?
At that point, I was like 20 maybe, like 20. And because I was like 19, I just got out of school in Arkansas and transferred there, and that's where it really started to gel. And when I started to look over those guys' shoulders and really like from just a different array of musicians, and I mean that's what really sparked my interest, and I started to work with them, and then everything just started elevating from that point on.